About 85% of the salt on sale in Hong Kong contains no iodine. Even if you consume the salt that does contain iodine, you'd require 80 tablespoons to give you the same amount of iodine as in one tablet. There's been a lot of frankly idiotic rumours going around about both the crisis at Japan's nuclear plants and the perils of radiation. Here to shed some light, we hope, is Professor Alexis Lau of the University of Science and Technology. Your area of speciality happens to be these movements and how these things spread. How likely is it that radiation could spread to Hong Kong or China, for that matter?
It's unlikely to be spread to Hong Kong. The reason for that is because what controls the spread is the airflow itself, as well as where the pollutant is released. First of all, if it is the airflow, it will spread downstream, which Hong Kong is not in the downstream area. The second reason is because the release of these pollutants are in very low level. So by the time it spread downstream, it actually gets settled down in a few hundred kilometers, and Hong Kong is quite far away from that. So even unless you have a more catastrophic event which gets these pollutants further up, say a few kilometers up into the atmosphere, then you will spread further downstream. But the downstream area is nowhere near Hong Kong, so there's absolutely no chance that these pollutants will come to Hong Kong.
I mean, China has said it's going to review the future development of nuclear plants, effectively putting a pause on these new developments. Does this crisis in Japan suggest to you that nuclear should be less of the energy picture than it obviously is likely to be in China?
Well, I think China has just made a very prudent move to review it, to look back at possibility of this multiple failure. But I don't think it is possible or prudent for China to actually say, well, we will stop or minimize the nuclear use, because the reason for them to go with the nuclear is because of another equally big threat of climate change. If China continues to grow, its energy has to come from somewhere. If we use the energy from fossil fuel, then they have other problems like air pollution, climate change that they have to deal with. So nuclear is something that I think at this point is more steady compared with other renewable like wind, solar. So I think nuclear has to be in the equation. But it's important that we have to make sure the plants are safe with respect to some of this multiple failure. So I think it's good that they go and take a look, but I don't think it is a good way for them to just say, well, we will retract from using nuclear.
I mean, let's just be clear about that. Are you saying that as matters stand, primarily, I suppose, coal burning nuclear plants pose more of a climate threat?
Oh, sure. Nuclear energy is what we call non-carbon energy, so it does not release any CO2. Any other type of fossil fuel, even natural gas, will release CO2, and that will accelerate the climate change, which is a very real risk for the whole world. China has so many people. China stands a lot to lose if fossil fuel continue to burn uncontrollably.
Well, Alexis Lau, thank you very much for clearing up all these points.
Well, thanks for getting me here.
And we'll be back after the break.